I think mentioning democracy in this instance is an anomaly.
But we are
because
still
the
a
sole
democratic nation.
No, we are not. It's not the nation. It's Rivers State. Let's get it straight.
Nation.
What is happening refers to Rivers State and not other states in Nigeria. So let us be specific about it. What is happening in Rivers State now is that the governor has been suspended. And what we have there is a sole administrator.
Yes, but
a sole administrator is not an executive governor. And since it's not an executive governor, it's not expected to apply democratic rules. There is no House of Assembly. So whatever he feels, he deems fit to do is what we will do. The recourse is just to the Federal Executive Council. That's all. So it's accountable to the Federal Executive Council and not any House of... In fact, there is no House of Assembly anyway. So now what we are saying is this. Of course, we need some aids. Maybe in whatever name, maybe commissioners, he may have, or secretary, whatever designation is for him to fashion out how best he thinks he can administer that place as a sole administrator. Don't forget the word sole. Sole administrator. When you say sole administrator, it's not executive governor. It's not accountable to the people of Rivers State. He was not elected by them.
Lawrence.
And
okay, go on.
He wasn't elected by them.
Right.
It's not responsible to them. Even though he will rule, he will govern them. But do not expect much of democratic ethos or norms. This is an abnormal situation. And whatever is abnormal requires abnormal solution.
I would like to hear Mr. Lawrence.
For me, I don't think the situation really is going to change, because in the last 1 year, let's face fact, Fubara was a sole administrator. He wasn't working with the state assembly.
Again, yeah, that's the point.
He was spending money without approval from state legislature. So that's really nothing is going to change. Just like Mr. Salami also said, nothing in terms of effective governance is going to happen in Rivers State. Maybe maintenance of law and order, keeping the peace for now and everything. So, but in terms of, there's nothing groundbreaking that is going to happen in Rivers State during that period. At least not under this kind of period. Because when we talk about democracy, the three arms of government must
have to work in tandem.
Understand at the end of the day. So I think what the president is mindful of for now is how do we restore peace
and sanity
before, while this is going on, how do we seek a political solution so that if we get the political solution, then we now move forward.
All right. So I know that there is an effort to separate Wike from all of this. As you said earlier, this is about the governor and the lawmakers in the state. But is there a way that we can really not bring in the name of Wike into the mix?
You see, let us be very, very practical about what is on ground. I hate introspection. This imaginary day that whatever happens to me in life, I have caused it for myself. You first look at how you cause things for yourself before you begin to
share blames
and project that the imaginary day caused it for me. I had an experience when my uncle became the chairman of a local government in Ogun State, and he told me that look, all the councillors, about 10 of them, they were imposed on me, and they will impeach me. I said, then you are not a politician.
Sure.
He said their godfather will ask them to impeach him. I said, will their godfather come to the council and preside over it? It is for you to manage the situation and the councillors well. If and when the councillors are enjoying themselves and things are going on, they don't give any report to their so-called godfather. In actual fact, they themselves, they know that why they are there. Yes, godfather was there, brought them there, but more than the godfather,
it's how they are living in the now.
That is it. Truth be told, Fubara had an exaggerated opinion of himself at a stage, and he felt that like the palm wine drinkers always say that no keke wuke. forgetting that many kekes
Can't care.
can care. And it has care now, so to speak. So what we are saying is this. You see, when you are in politics, you should understand the dynamics. And you should be flexible. And of course, yes, there will be distraction. But don't get distracted. Especially the hallelujah singers. They are always there. But my mother always warned me that when the bottom gets spoiled, it becomes your own.
Actually.
But when it is good, it's for everybody.
Our own.
You could see now that it's a marathon. The hallelujah singers.
They will never give
Because
up.
I've seen some statements released here and
there are still a lot to do. There are protests to
There still, yes.
There are courts. You have to go to court. You have to organize a lot of things to do.
But Lawrence, the incidents, of course, will be on who?
Oh, of course, you know who will bear the cost. You know who will bear the cost. It's just that this time around, no direct access. But then, we are not even looking at the people of Rivers State.
That's exactly my next question about how the people.
It's not as if really speaking, sincerely speaking,
that the people have been in the front.
Ought to be and
yes.
what is.
What, yeah.
We are discussing
ideal
what
and
is.
reality.
Because if they do matter in the first place, our recruitment process of people who will represent Rivers State will be different. Somebody will not be powerful enough to make sure that everyone who comes to any place is through his influence. That means that the interests of the people do not really matter. This is a discussion that we always shy away from, and this is where it starts. When you decide that every councillor in a particular local government will get your blessing before they come, and when that happens, you can't turn around to now say, oh no, we have to do this, we have to insist on this, we have to insist on this. And this is a lesson to those who are thinking of 2027. When you think, let me just get the ticket by any means possible, when I get there, I will change the situation. Brother, sister, you're not going to change anything. If somebody moves you from number 8 to number 1 and you get the party ticket, when you get there, uncle, auntie, you are not going to change anything at the end of the day.
Lawrence, I want to say something, and you may not really agree with me. It is high time we stop living a lie. What do I mean? When you say we the people, who exactly are we the people? Truth be told, in theory, it is we the people. But in the real fact, there are quite some people who control everything on our behalf. And there is the need for us to say the truth. Even though sovereignty is expected or deemed to reside in the people, it does not work that way. We have ourselves to blame at times. We have ourselves to blame. When you think that what you are worth is a bag of gari or 2 bowls of noodles of rice.
That rice.
Before you vote for somebody, when you cannot interrogate correctly before you cast your vote, and I have been saying this to whoever cares to listen, that democracy may not necessarily work in this part of the world. We need to adapt certain things and adjust. Why did I say this? In democracy, votes are counted and not weighted. What do I mean? The vote of Wole Soyinka and the vote of Meshara or Merua, they are the same, 1-1. And there are more of Meshara and Merua than the likes of Wole Soyinka. So it only means that, and if democracy is a game of number and the majority will always have their way, it only means that the kind of government you have is the kind of government of the Merua and the Mesharas, not the kind of government of intellectuals, those who could possess information, synthesize it, and come to a robust conclusion. It will not happen because there are more of Meruas and Mesharas, and if it is the game of the majority, so much so you'll be having what benefits or what fits that kind of human beings. And more importantly again, there is the need for political reorientation, because democracy assumes certain things. That one, you have satisfied some basic needs of life, and mark you, poverty does the brain.
True, right?
You can't tell somebody who is being disturbed every day by the landlord that he should not sell his voter's card. He will not sell only his own.
Without even paying the house rent.
He will sell the wife's own, the children's own, because what is more important to him is how to gratify all those basic needs. Of all democracies, the first democracy is the democracy of the belly.
Wow. That was a grand way of rounding off that point. All right, so let's look at the role of the media in all of this. You know, I think everywhere is agog right now as it concerns media, print, social, whatever platform you're using right now. Let's look at the role the media plays in all of this narrative shaping, right? How does it come to you?
Well, just like the role the Nigerian media played during the 2023 election, the media simply reflects the complexities of the Nigerian society. The society is getting more and more divided, divisive, and so on, along ethnic lines, along religious lines, along personal preferences. If you look at the narrative now and the dimensions, I took time yesterday Twitter was on fire, and the people I know to belong to certain political persuasion, you automatically know where they are
and what they would say,
where they are going to stand on this. It's very rare to find somebody who will be objective or balanced. Let's even leave objectivity, because sometimes it's really very difficult to be objective, but at least people who would want to be balanced. So when you pick up a particular newspaper, for example, you already know their antecedents. You know where they are likely in terms of editorials. You know where they are likely to stay on this. If you look at opinion writers, you know from the last 10 years where they belong to, the kind of politicians they are sympathetic to. You know, for example, if you have somebody who is persuasive, who has this tendency to be sympathetic to somebody like maybe a Peter Obi, for example, and he has been consistent in his write-ups, in his argument, you automatically know that he's going to side with Fubara.
So can we now talk about the democracy of the media? Like, because he said something very pivotal. He said true democracy starts from the belly. And you know that in the end, all of these things have a way of, tying hands. We know that sometimes even the media that is supposed to be a reflection of what the society is informed by back-end arm twists, so to say, right? And is it really a case of what it is what is truly reflected?
Well, okay, Mr. Salome, let him take that first.
Do I have the floor?
Yes.
Go ahead, please.
Well, you see, let us ask a corporate question. When you mention the media, are you discussing Nigerian media? When you talk of the media, you are talking of the journalists. Are they from the moon? Are they from another planet? They are part and parcel of Nigerians. They too are Nigerians, and they will behave as Nigerians. They have their bent. And don't forget, it even depends on the media you are working for. Because he who pays the piper, the ownership of the media affects what goes in and what comes out. And of course, you have to understand the workings in your media house. There are some stories that even if you file it from now till their kingdom come, they will not use it. And of course, the fact that you even file that story, you should know that yes, you're on your way out or you'll be marked. So you see, it's unfortunate that even the media, they have their idiosyncrasies. And I'm saying this with all sense of responsibility. We pay little or no attention to the ethics and the rules. We hardly adhere or abide by the rules of the profession. We were somehow swayed by certain things, primordial sentiments. Of course, there is a media that you always know that how they will approach a news item that what will be their headline. It is not supposed to be so, but unfortunately there is a wide gulf between what ought Nigerian populace really affect the media. Unless you try to rise over and above yourself, which to a large extent is like calling an akarasela to appear in court as your counsel.
All right, let's pan away from that story now, because of course, as we have established, or as Lawrence have said, and you have also agreed, we would have divided sides. It depends on who you're listening to and whatever the person is saying. Now I'm seeing front page of some papers, lawyers are coming out to say, oh, this move was ill, it was a wrong one, it shouldn't be so, and all whatnot. Some people are totally for it, some people are absolutely against it. Again, it's also entirely about who it is you're listening to. But away from that now, there's something that saw a step to the next level on the floor of the House, and that's the social media bill that all social media outlets are expected to have offices in Nigeria. One, but yes, physical presence in Nigeria. Otherwise, you cannot run your business in the country. And all bloggers are expected to give information on each and every one of their employees. I don't know if you saw that story. I see the way Salmo Salami is smiling right now. Please go, just take the floor. Let me hear what you have to say.
Let me tell you, what is freedom without control? The social media must be regulated. There is the need for regulation. The mainstream media, we all know that to a very large extent, you have gatekeepers, you have so many checks. And I have been saying it, that there is a lot of reckless posts coming out of the social media. Everybody is now a journalist. They call it citizen journalism, or what do you call it? Whereby if you have a smartphone or Android, so you can begin to churn out whatever pieces your fancy. That is not journalism. And we should know that we are in business because there is a country. There is the need for us to protect the national interest. Nigeria falls in whatever we do. Irresponsibility and impunity should not be allowed in the name of journalism or citizen journalism. There is need for regulation. Whatever is necessary to be done to ensure that the social media is regulated should be done.
All right.
And I'm in support of it.
And that's Salmo Salami's opinion on the subject. What do you think?
I would disagree a little bit. I agree on the fact that there needs to be some form of regulation. Police in Kano State, he will go to Lagos State during the next recruitment. Police in Kano State, he will go to Lagos State during the next recruitment session, and would be recruited. We can't detect simple things like that. Then you now want to talk about technology in the social media that is moving every second.
That you can be in here now and say you are in India.
Exactly.
Just so turn on something.
What is our intendment when it comes to that law? That is because we have this habit of making laws for every problem we have. We have problem A today. We make a law for problem A. We have problem B. We make another law for it, and so many others. But in terms of generally speaking, there should be some form of regulations. And if there is, because you see, we are very hypocritical, Didi.
Sure.
You make use of the social media a lot, but you see that sometimes when people misbehave, you malign someone on social media, the person decides to go to court. Then people start putting pressure on you, start begging, leave him now. What are you going to gain?
Issues.
What are you going to gain if he's detained, if he's sentenced to jail? People will start blackmailing you and so many. But you have maligned somebody, you have discredited somebody, you have told a lie, which others have also repeated, retweeted. At the end of the day, sometimes it's very easy for us to sit down here and say, but do you know what people feel? Some people who are the receiving end of the wrong use of social media.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Anyway, I think we'll be rounding things off here today. Thank you very much for being a part of it. Thank you for your contributions. And
sorry, Didi, before we go.
It was actually because of you I said we should go.
I
You remember?
I remember. Before you go, my heart just goes to our dear sole administrator in Rivers State, Vice Admiral Ibok. And here is a man who was quietly enjoying his retirement after giving his all to the nation. He has been called to duty again. And I know that, don't be surprised, Didi. Very soon now you're going to see paid advertisements, Association of Classmates. You're going to see paid advertisement, family members.
Come on.
You're going to see people who have worked under him. You are going to see a lot of church members in the men's association. A lot of everyone want to be associated
Out of Cross River Collective.
Exactly.
God,
Too many things just to be associated. The retired general should not be deceived with that. It's not because they really love him. All of a sudden now, his phone now will start ringing 24/7.
He has to change his number.
It's 24/7. People will relocate to River State, to Port Harcourt now, just to be able to see him. Some people will come to Abuja and wait because they know that the man will always come to Abuja to see the president. So a lot of things, Nigeria, where
Lawrence, he has to get a room for Ampas.
It's just to stay careful.
you need to be very careful.
That's just the thing. All right. So this is Kobamba Suko and Bez saying do the right thing. Stay with us. Citizen FM 93.7.
There is something missing in the world today. It's the one thing that can make the world okay. And it doesn't cost nothing, no, you don't even have to pay. It's about doing the